All right, I'm on hole number 8 of the 2019 Fall Major. Let's go to, I'm going to pick my bag here real quick. There's my bag. I'm going to go look at the hole. So there's a bunch of different ways you can play this hole. I shot some videos this morning with my low-level account. If you've watched those videos, this will be a repeat, but bear with me. So let's talk about, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ways that you could legitimately go with this. Hole shot number 1's a layup. Okay. In this distance from right here to right here, it goes like this, and it goes like this, and it goes like this, and this is probably a 3 or 4 story drop within about about 30 or 40 feet. Same thing over here. So if you've ever taken those shots where it's way downhill and you're trying to use your wind ring methods, and you're like so far away from your wind ring method that from the rings that you can't actually make a serious adjustment, think of the worst time that's ever happened, and this shot I'll be on par with that, because these shots they're super tough and they're way downhill. I mean, way downhill. So I mean, talking, big adjustments, 30-40%. So I'm not really interested in laying up to give myself a super hard shot. I'm just not interested in doing that when I can take any of the other shots and there's a possibility that I could be on. So what you're telling me is that you'd rather take a shot where you're laying up and giving yourself a super hard shot versus going for a shot that could put you on and one. I would go for 3, 4, 5, or 6. So 3, when the holes first came out, I tried this shot with an extra mile where I was trying to blast through here. For some reason, it felt like there was good room here. And when you do a max overpower where it comes through the trees, there's actually a pretty good lane where you can land at in here. But I very quickly abandoned this because what was happening is in order to get it to come around the bend, I ended up clipping the sand quite often. Or I ended up caught up right down there at the bottom of the rough. So that really kind of leaves us shot number 3, shot number 4, shot number 5 or 6, these 3 shots. 3, you're going underneath the trees. When you're in this spot, pull back, get really close down here to the ground and pull back, and you can see that there's a lane. And I'm not a fan of this because I'm not interested in hitting, here's the drop, here's the trees, okay, here's their trunks. I'm not interested in engaging those trees off of a bounce and then hitting the tree. What happens if you hit the tree at the beginning? It's going to bounce, ricochet around, and you may not roll forward. You may still be up here in the trees because you were trying to hit it through the trees and you hit the tree before you got through it. The shot going over the top where you're trying to blast it over the top of the trees, here's the trees, here's their trunks, and you're coming over like this. If you clip these branches on the way down, the key word in that was that you were on the way down, and it'll continue to fall. It may fall straight, but guess what? You're in front of the trees in the rough. If you clear the trees, it's going to go right down here onto this, and it's going to, and where it hits, it's coming like this. And so it's going to come in with a lot of speed because you had to put a lot of topspin to make sure you got through, and it's going to hit. And then you're going to go, oh my gosh, it's going to end up back here. But what happens is it takes the flat hop. And when it takes that flat hop, it loses a ton of power when it hits right here. And it'll come to a very quick stop. And typically you kind of work hard to get into the sand. That is a possibility, but you got to work kind of hard to get into that sand. If you can clear those trees on the other side with your extra mile with about 4.5 topspin, you can end up nicely over here. And for myself, I would rather end up over here than here. This shot right here, you've got a nice shot through. You can see there's a kind of a trough that goes through the green. Nice shot at it. From here, there's a lot of movement where it comes up and then the hole is dropping down. And so you've got a lot of gravity involved with this shot. So you're close enough that wind's not really a factor. And so you take the shot and you think, hey, no, wind's not a factor, and then you miss it as if wind was a factor. And the reason that that happened is because it wasn't because of wind, it was because of the slope on this course. Gravity actually, as it rolls down the hill, it's wanting to move to the right. and it'll end up missing the cup to the right. So if you're out down here at the bottom, it is always better. I think it's better to be over here coming in out this way. The other way that you can go at this, and what I'm going to be practicing today, and I want to try this shot because my shot on this hole is to bring an extra mile and a Titan, and not max overpower, about half overpower, and try and hit over the trees and bleed that sucker up and get it to lay down right there and take my chip and go home. But because of the new developments on the rock with the distance, I'm going to try hitting out here, and my ball guide's going to be going in this direction. And I'm going to see how much that 100% curl, if I can bring that ball back around and bring that ball back to the cup. And how far, what's going to be the determining factor is on the distance. Can you get in front of this tree? Because if you're over here and you're here, this is where your ball guide ends, and you take the arc of your club, you could come out into this area. But if you come out into this area, the farther to the left or to the right that you go, the more the curls got to become effective. So we're getting to the point where we're at a 45, and there's no way even 100% curl is going to cover that distance. So the closer you can get up here, the better, because you're trying to bring your ball in so it's going like this. But in order to do that, you've got to clear the tree here. You can't be behind the tree and then expecting this curl is going to put you right into the tree. It doesn't matter. You got to go out on the arc until you can. So you may have to come out into this area where you can clear the tree. But I think with the extra distance that they gave the rock, that I might be able to get up closer so that curl can cover the gap. And so that's what I'm going to try out on this hole. I'm going to, more than likely, unless I can get this to work out, I'm going to do the hit over with your extra mile, about 4.5 topspin, Titan, and try and roll it off. But I want to be practicing this shot this week because this is the shot that there are some of these holes that the rock offers some opportunities. And I know I picked that bag earlier, but I'm actually going to take my rock. I want to see what the opportunities are on these holes. And if you're going to do this shot with a rock, it would be better to bring a Kingmaker. I'm going to take my rock. If that doesn't work out, I'm going to switch to a Titan and an extra mile. And I have no idea. I'm going to put everything on it because I don't even know if we can cover the gap. That's why we call it practice. I have zero cares in the world today. It doesn't matter to me if I make all these shots or if I don't make them or if I make a bad wind adjustment. The whole deal is today's goal is to figure out what driver and what ball I want to use to attack these holes. And then once I figure that out, in the next practice round, my goal, I can get out there clear of the tree. I'm going to go my white ring off the... Man, it just doesn't look like I have to put much on there to get it to do what I want it to do. 1.9, 100% accurate club, 2 rings. And the goal is to just see how that responds. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so easy there. I needed to put on about 4 backspin, and that shot's going to be on the green every time. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I am so excited about that I could almost cry. That's just the combination of a club that has lots of curl and a very accurate club. And I think that if there's not a lot of people out there that are excited about the improvements that they've made on the rock, just that little bit of distance, it's crazy how that changes that club, even when it gets maxed out. I mean, that's a huge, That makes it one of the best drivers in the game. I cannot afford to make these shots. I want to hit it out here so I can show you what I was talking about as far as what it looks like when you're out in this area. So when you're out here, you have it's a nice look at it on pretty flat ground. You can see when you came up to it, there's kind of a hump that comes over to the green. And when you're coming at it from this angle, it can be a very difficult, and my opponent should have not been so nonchalant about that. That is a serious shot at it. They actually helped themselves out by hitting that great to the right, or great to the left. I would have been a little more, I'd have taken a little bit more time on that shot because that was a great shot there. I'm going to forfeit now that they are on. But I am so excited about that rock shot that, I mean, that's definitely going to be the shot that I'm going to work all week. I did the extra mile shot with my lower level account and got over and got the eagle earlier today. But I think for consistency wise, with that shot right there, we actually have not just a shot of getting down there where we're in the clear where we can take the chip on, but I think we actually have a shot of getting on the green and making a very short putt. All right, that was hole number 8 of the 2019 Fall Major. Thanks for watching.